Welcome to this second edition of TechLoveHate. I'm Craig Mason.
And I'm Kara Thurman.
Kara is our new co-host, and she is currently a nursing student at Belmont University.
That's right.
And I'm guessing you use a lot of tech during the whole nursing thing?
Yep. All the time, on the laptop, all the time. Those of you in college, you know what I'm talking about.
And that's the reason we're here, to help you with your tech issues. We're going to start off this week's edition with some email questions that have come in. Kara, you want to take the first one?
All right. First one is from Cheyenne from Springfield, Missouri. She says, and she wants to know why Facebook and MySpace slow down her PC so much. She uses Google Chrome as her primary web browser. If you have already done all of the maintenance covered in the last week's show,
and if you haven't watched last week's show, you'll want to, because there was some important stuff covered there.
we'll just focus on the web browser that you're using right now. Google Chrome is basically a toddler in the web browser world. It's still working out some of the kinks and glitches, and we suggest that you use Safari, Firefox, or even better, there's this web browser called Flock. Flock is actually designed for social networking. So if you're a big major-time Facebooker, Flock is great. If you stick with one of those three browsers, you should have a great web browsing experience.
With one caveat. If you're using Firefox or Flock, based on Firefox, and you've got a lot of third-party plugins installed, that can start to cause a lot of slowdown and issues. So if you do start to have issues with those browsers, you're going to want to start to disable some of those third-party plugins and see which one is the culprit. Next, we have two questions submitted by Debbie from the Atlanta, Georgia area. Her question was, which case should I get for my iPad? Now, there are literally hundreds of different cases now for the iPad. It's become quite a popular piece of equipment. Apple has their own case. The nice thing about the Apple case, it's thin, it's light, it's sleek. At first, it's nice looking, but that's also the problem with it. It's nice looking at first. Over the course of a couple months, it tends to get scuffed and smudged and starts to not look all that great. So if you're getting it for a style reason, yeah, the style's going to wear out pretty quick. If you're getting it because it's really light and thin and just convenient, by all means get the Apple case. That's its advantage. It's nice and light and thin, and offers some pretty good protection. It also doubles as an easel for the iPad. I have a case that's made by HHI. The nice thing about this particular case is it doubles as a two-way easel, which is kind of cool. And it has a place for my business cards right here, which I use this a lot when I'm on the road for business purposes. So for me, it's important to have that feature so I don't have to carry a bunch of extra stuff. If you don't need that option with the business card holder, there are still hundreds of other options available, some good, some not so good. We'll have links up on the show notes. They come in tons and tons of colors. She would choose purple.
I love purple.
She loves purple. And why wouldn't she? Again, just check the show notes. We'll have links and some photos of the different options available, and you can check it out.
Debbie's second question is, why can't I pull up Bejeweled on my Facebook, on my iPad? Apple has decided that Flash is a little too unstable and a little too much of a resource hog to include on some of their mobile devices. So any sites that use the Flash player will be unusable on the iPad or iPhone until these sites switch over to a format that these mobile devices can support. The good news is that most of the casual games available on Facebook and other sites are available through Apple's App Store.
Now, while on the subject of iPads and iPhones, let's get to one of the most often asked questions I get. Which smartphone should I get, the iPhone or the Android? Now, I'm going to do a little impromptu test here. You have no idea what's coming.
Oh,
If someone were to give you a free phone, Android, iPhone, you have your choice. Which are you going to choose?
I don't know a whole lot about the Android phone, but the iPhone's awfully hard to pass up, so iPhone.
And that was the answer I was expecting. There's just something magical about the iPhone. I wish I had an iPhone, but I have the next best thing, an iPad, which runs the same operating system, and there's just something so intuitive about using one. It just works the way you think that it should work. The interface is extremely easy to use, but extremely powerful at the same time. The first thing you're going to want to do is check and see what signals are available where you live. Just because AT&T is available in your town doesn't mean that they're going to have a signal where you live. And so many people use their smartphones nowadays as their main phone. So you're going to want to make sure that you go to the AT&T site and you go to their map section and zoom in on your location where you live and see if there's a strong signal. If there's a strong signal, go for the iPhone. It's an amazing machine. If AT&T isn't available or doesn't have a strong signal at your house, you certainly can't go wrong with an Android phone. If the iPhone is an A, then the Androids are an A- or a B+, depending on which model. The Evo from Sprint is a pretty killer phone, and of course the Moto Droid X that just came out is pretty killer. Not as refined as the iPhone, but pretty darn close, and you certainly can't go wrong. If I had to have an Android phone, I certainly wouldn't complain about it. I doubt you would either, especially
No.
if someone gave them to us.
So bottom line, get an iPhone if you can. If not, Droids are a great and very close second choice. That's it for this week's edition of Tech Love Hate. Be sure to join us for next week's program.
And thanks to Kara for being here, being our new co-host. It sure was a lot more fun with you here. And be sure to check out the show notes section where we'll have extra information about the topics that we've covered. And if you do any shopping at Amazon.com, which I know you do, I do a lot of shopping at Amazon, please start your searches here on the site. When you search on the site, you get the same great prices, but we get a portion of the sales, and it helps keep us going. Thanks. See you next time.